All right, guys, last example for 9-6, we're going to finally use the discriminant. So reflecting on our vocab, we learned that just this part of the quadratic formula is what we call the discriminant. This is the part that we find under the square root. And this does not tell us exactly what the x-intercepts are. It just tells us how many. So the discriminant tells us if we have no solutions or one or two solutions. So far in 9-6, you guys, we have had 2 solutions for every single example that we have done. In some cases, we only have one x-intercept, or sometimes we have no x-intercepts, and we have seen those cases earlier in topic 9. So let's see how the discriminant can help us find that. If, when we use the discriminant, if we get a answer that is greater than 0, so that is some positive number, that means that we will have 2 solutions. And the reason is because when we use the discriminant, we take the square root. So let's just say that we choose a positive number. I'm going to choose 4. Let's say that we use the discriminant and we get the answer 4. When we take the square root of 4, we get 2 answers, right? We get positive 2 and we get negative 2. That's why we would have 2 solutions. Now, if we do the discriminant and we equal 0 exactly, when we take the square root of that number, we only get positive 0. Actually, I shouldn't even say positive because 0 is not really a positive or negative number. It's just one solution. That's the only case in the world where we will have just one solution, one x-intercept. The x-intercept is not 0. It could be. But remember, discriminant does not tell us what. It just tells us how many solutions. All right, our last case is when our discriminant is less than 0. So that would be a negative number. Let's say that we use the discriminant and get negative 16. Can I take the square root of a negative? No, we cannot. That is why we result in no solution. Let's go ahead and try a few of these. All right, first thing, let's identify our A, B, and C values, and let's plug those right into discriminant. So we'll start with B squared minus 4, parentheses A, parentheses C. Let's go ahead and solve this through. I'm going to start out front with negative 4 squared. We get 16. And then negative 4 times 1 times 3. You can plug all that into your calculator at once, and we will get negative 12, so minus 12. Simplifying that down all the way to one number, we get 4. So my discriminant is 4. We have to ask ourselves, is that number greater than 0? Is it 0, or is it less than 0? 4 is greater than 0, and that tells us that we're going to have 2 solutions, 2 x-intercepts. So there's 2 parts to our answer. 2 things I'm looking for, this number that I'm circling in pink, and stating what it means. That means we're going to have 2 solutions. We don't know what they are. We could use quadratic formula to find them, but for now, discriminant just tells us how many we will have. All right, next one, we'll go through this one a little bit quicker. Identify A, B, and C. And let's plug those right into our discriminant. B squared minus 4AC. Start simplifying out front. 4 squared is 16. Negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4. Times that by negative 4, we get negative 16. Simplifying all of that down, I get equals 0. So what does equals 0 mean? That means that we have one solution. We only have one x-intercept. So if I go to Desmos and I graph this function, we're going to see that we hit the x-axis only one time. All right, last one over here. Identify A, B, and C values. And let's plug them right into B squared minus 4AC. Notice how I'm going pretty quick now. I try to go just a little bit quicker each time. But again, if you feel stuck anytime, you can pause, rewind, you can rewatch, you can slow down the speed. It is totally up to you to go at your pace. All right. Positive 16 out front, and then we can do all 3 of these numbers, times them by each other all at once in your calculator to get minus 20. Simplifying all of that down to get -4. And when I get a discriminant that is less than 0, a negative number, what does that mean? That means we have no solution. We cannot take the square root of a negative. All right, if you're feeling good, go ahead and try the next two on your own. Otherwise, we'll do 2 more together and then get some practice in class. All right, A value is 1, B value is -10, C value is 25. Let's plug that into our discriminant, not negative b, just b squared. Oh, no, I did have that right. Okay. B squared minus 4AC. Here we get positive 100. And here we get minus 100. All of that equals 0, which means we will have one solution in this quadratic. 2 answers we want to show, 0, and what that means, one solution. All right, A, B, C. Our discriminant is b squared minus 4AC. Out front, we simplify to get 36. Over to the right, let's start with this. -4 times -1 is +4. Then we times that by -10 to get -40, -40. And I can see right away that's going to result in a negative answer. And anytime we use the discriminant and get a negative, a number less than 0, that means that we have no solution. All right, you guys, awesome job.